Hey, everybody, it's me, Jonathan Miller, the voice of The Veil, back with another Big Hype podcast brought to you by our great sponsors, headline sponsors, Boxster, I say it wrong all the time, but a platform online for tickets for fighters for you to get the best out of them, and they don't have to chase you around at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get your money. It makes it a lot easier. Boxster, our other headline sponsor, which is MC Prestige Events. Great setups with rings and lights and everything you could possibly need for any of your event organisation. And our other sponsors, Bravos Boxing Gloves, protect yourself at all times whilst we're in Bravos, and We Prep UK, the UK's leading nutritionist, sponsor and provide for athletes across the board from racing, boxing and martial arts. But a very special guest tonight joining me on the Big Hype podcast, completely and utterly in a different vein, but going back to my old roots, which is wrestling. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, all the way from his home in, I'm not even sure where, but he's billed from Italy, so we're going to go with Italy.
From an undisclosed location.
Rocco Garzya.
But you forgot the most important part, which is your supreme leader, Rocco Garzya. So I will allow you to do it one more time.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. The supreme leader, Rocco Garzya.
Much better, much better. Thank you for having me on.
Mate, my pleasure. I'm going to start with a podcast, which I normally start with the same question, which is how and why did you get involved in wrestling?
That is a very good question. Most people will answer, I used to watch professional wrestling as a child and I fell in love with it and it was my dream. I'm a grown man and dreams are just that, dreams. I got involved in professional wrestling with one objective in mind, and that was to reach the widest audience that I could possibly reach, to spread my message. You see, as the supreme leader, I think that I can show the people how they can take control of their lives. And instead of being little sheeps, following influences, trends, governments, they can think like lions and behave like lions. Because that's the only way not to be controlled by the system and to be truly free. So I saw in professional wrestling the opportunity to reach to millions of people. That is why I'm on the road every week, because in every little town, wherever I wrestle, I can affect people with my message, with my example. The outside world is brutal. And people come to watch the wrestling to forget.
Yeah, escapism. Yeah, I get
I
it.
remember them. I remind there's no escaping brutality. And you either get brutal yourself, you either toughen up or you will succumb. And there's no escaping. So that's what I do with how I wrestle. Brutality is a mean for me to show people what will happen to them if they don't quit being sheep and start following the way of the lion. Now, I know this is not a conventional answer to your question.
No, it wasn't what I expected.
From most athletes, but it's the truth. And I know it's unsettling and I know it bothers people that I'm not into wrestling just to fulfill a childhood fantasy, but I have a goal that I will achieve.
Do you remember the first time you walked into a gym and started hitting the mats and learning those first bumps?
I do. It was in 2013 in Italy. And I remember walking in without the clarity that I have now about my purpose, not being the person that I am today, and allowing other people to define me as a person and as a professional wrestler. But it's when I started that I gradually realized that there was more than what was being shown to me. And that is why eventually I moved away from Italy and I went to Canada to train with Lance Storm. And then I moved to the UK. I knew back then that the only way to get to be who I am now was to work on my craft, refine it, and get excellent at it. And to this day, even now that I am the supreme leader, even now that I have more than over 100 matches a year, I still try to refine my craft and get better, because that's the only way that I will reach the platforms that I need to reach to spread my message. Because let's not again get it wrong. Going to WWE or AEW or New Japan Pro Wrestling or any other huge company is nothing more for me than a platform to reach wider audiences for a very philosophical and political message. And sure, money and fame comes with it, but that's not what I'm interested in. As I said, this is not some unresolved childhood fantasy. This is a mission.
You mentioned Lance Storm. Let's talk Lance Storm. I mean, Lance Storm is a legend within the sport, within the industry, known as a very perfection-driven, technical wrestler. How do you balance then your style with that old school, sort of traditional technical discipline with your more rule-breaking lion persona that you've got?
You see, Lance was a very good role model, but at the same time, I learned from him only what got me out of the door to then reach the very first small opportunities. I feel like the way I am now, the way I wrestle now, has been the product of a longer process. So while Lance gave me basics, which in Italy weren't at the time taught properly, then I had to find the way that I wrestle. And I hate to going back to what I was saying before, but without knowing who you are and your mission and goal in professional wrestling, it's very difficult to then find the style of wrestling. You see, it's not just hitting offense and moves on your opponent. It's how you do it. And I realized that to get ahead of everybody else, to get where I need to be, the only way is to embrace that brutal side of myself. Because through that, I can teach other people, people that are watching, and also fellow wrestlers, that the outside world, the one we seek refuge from in professional wrestling, we can't escape, even when we're in the ring.
Okay.
And I would say that Lance was a very good student, a very good teacher for to get into wrestling at first. Then the only way that a professional wrestler can find themselves is through a journey of self identity, and also a literal journey of making the towns and wrestle as much as possible. Without the reps, without hitting the shows where there's 20 people in the crowd and the ones where there's 1,000 people in the crowd, you're not going to get better. You're not going to figure out who you are and how you're supposed to wrestle.
Do you know what? You just remind me of something, another wrestler that I used to work with a lot, who, whether you're wrestling in front of 5 or 5,000 or 5 million, it's the same. You give the same performance that you would do for 5 as you would do for 5,000. And I get that's where you're coming from with delivering the message that you want to deliver. You mentioned a couple of different places. Obviously started in Italy, now living in the UK. You're traveling quite a lot as well. I mean, this is how we met. We bumped into each other on a plane coming back from Italy, and I only kind of looked at the bag and thought, oh, I saw Suplex on the bag. I had to ask, sat in the same row as you, and I found myself in your presence.
Synchronicity, right?
I think so. I think it was meant to be for a reason. You travel a lot of different countries. Is there a particular country you enjoy going to more than ever? Or is there one that you kind of like, oh, do you know what? I don't really want to go and wrestle on that show tonight. Or, yeah, I know you are quoted as being the most hated wrestler, I think, in Cyprus. Am I right?
That is right. I'm only hated because people want to be me. I was the Pro Wrestling Cyprus champion only for one night, unfortunately, because the promoter decided to screw me over and make me wrestle straight after I wrestled a 20-minute match against Jack Selstrom. And I'm currently holding the Pro Wrestling Cyprus tag team titles.
Okay.
So I won everything that I could win in that company. So I understand why people hate me there and why people are jealous. what I'm hoping is that they can get past that and use that as an example to fuel themselves and focus on the goals, whether they are lawyers, tradesmen, or professional wrestlers. Just be a lion. Stop being a sheep. Stop accepting the reality that is being presented to you and start questioning things. The only way that you can break out of this cycle which you're trapped in is to question. And I have the answers. But going back to your question, I'd say my favorite country to wrestle in was Japan. I've been there twice, and it was a great experience. The Japanese crowds were really receptive to what I was bringing to them because it's a society that was built on honor and tradition. And when they see a professional wrestler like me that gives everything in the ring, that uses brutality and force to take what he wants, they
Yeah.
respect
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And I would love to go back, and who knows,
This,
maybe soon enough in the future.
yeah, you've got that strong style. That's hard hitting. From some of the matches I've been watching to try and sort of prep for today, I see that style in you, and yeah, that fits. That from what you just said, that probably fits. Where was it again in Japan? Was it?
I wrestled for two companies. One
Yeah.
was AEW in
Okay.
Chiba, and then I wrestled for Just Tap Out, which is the company run by Taka Michinoku. And I wrestled all over for Taka. He's originally based in Chiba as well, but we did a tour of Japan, and I wrestled in, I think, 13 different cities, including at the Kano in Tokyo, which is an historic professional wrestling. And I was very honored to make my debut in JTO at the Kurakano.
Wow, there's a list of great venues and great people to work with as well. In there, Japan, Cyprus, Italy, UK. Is there a promotion where you feel, do you know what, break the rule a little bit? Is there somewhere you kind of want to go? I want to make that place my home. Are you happy being and doing what you're doing by traveling around an awful lot at the moment?
I want to get on any promotion, any. Like, I am driven to wrestle as many matches as I can in as many places as I can, because again, it goes back to that message that I'm trying to spread and the reason why I'm on this podcast. I want to reach as many people as possible. And whether Revolution Pro Wrestling is interested in me, whether Progress Pro Wrestling is interested in me or not, I will do what I can to be on that show and affect and inspire that crowd. But it's not up to me. I'm doing everything that I can by going town by town by town to hone my craft and show what sort of professional wrestler and human being I am. What is not in my control, there's nothing that I can do about it. But I know that my journey doesn't end here. My journey is going to end up reaching millions of people. Because when you have a message as strong as mine, when you have an idea, an ideology that is strong as mine, there is no way that people won't listen. And at first, they might hate the idea because it goes against their own self to admit they were wrong, to admit they were slaves and imprisoned in this invisible cage. But once they realize, once the light bulb goes off, there is no stopping me. So definitely, there's plenty of places in the UK I'd love to wrestle. There's plenty of places in Wales, in Scotland, all over the world. And
Come to Wales.
as my career shows, I will go. Wherever there's an opportunity, I will go.
Wales has got a great scene, I got to say. Being a local boy as well, I mean, I've been on a couple of different shows.
Absolutely. I wrestled for Attack Pro Wrestling.
I was going to say,
And
Attack
it was a
great.
great experience.
You've got Slam Masters as well. They're pretty good at exposure wrestling. We've done an awful lot of work with in the past as well. A number of great companies down here as well in South Wales. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you on one of those shows and I can come and watch you live in that capacity as well. But yeah, is there one company you'd like to sort of more than ever, you sort of like, that would be, I know you said there were platforms for you to go and spread your message, but is there one inside your heart, Rocco, that you kind of just want to go, I want to get there. I'd like to go there, see what it's like. Maybe it lasts, maybe it doesn't last.
If I have to talk from the perspective purely of professional wrestling, I'd say I would love to wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling because that's where I think my style will fit the best. But again, to me, it's not so much about the where, it's about the magnitude of the impact that I can make on crowds.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So New Japan, we've had some great people come through New Japan, and I've watched a lot of New Japan going back over the years as well. Even it's kind of a bit of a tradition in my sort of thing that I kind of try and make sure I watch Wrestle Kingdom wherever I am. Doesn't matter where that show is the pinnacle, obviously, of their year, and it's fantastic to see some of the guys. We've seen some great guys come from the UK through there as well, and Canada and US as well come through, and of course Japanese wrestlers themselves. That sounds awesome, mate. That sounds awesome. Would you be happy if let's say, I know, like you said, it wasn't your dream when you were younger to be The Rock or the Stone Colds and those people that you see on the TV that's watching WWE every week. But is there a particular title you'd like to get your hands on?
What would you consider the most important title in pro wrestling?
You get a pin in me now in this one. I always used to think that it was the World Heavyweight Championship, which is the lineage of the NWA through into the WCW, which then was taken on by the WWE. But that doesn't exist technically any longer. So that for me would have been the World Championship. However, an IGP Junior Heavyweight or a Heavyweight Championship goal, I think, is again probably one of the more honest and traditional, sought after titles. So something like the IWG, because they still hold an awful lot of valor and honor. And they also mean an awful lot more, I think, when they are given, or you won within the sports, that actually they feel a bit more, as opposed to something like a WWE tag team or the Intercontinental sometimes, perhaps. But I love the Intercontinental Championship. I'm not going to deny. I was a big fan of that growing up. At the Roddy Pipers, Ricky Steamboats, even The Miz did some great things with that title as well. And I think that title can mean an awful lot as well if you're in that promotion as well.
Absolutely. And if I ever get that, trust me, I'm going after those.
Okay, just like that. Just like that. I love it. I love it. So where else to go, really? Where else you want to go? Is there anyone you'd like to see in the ring? Let's ask that question. Is there anyone you'd like to face? Face on.
Question. Shall we go by companies? Shall I name one per each company?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Me and Gunther in WWE.
Awesome. That is awesome. Okay, yeah. That one I can see.
And Gabe Kidd in AEW.
Okay, yeah.
Me and Yoshiki Namura in Noah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Me, Tanahashi, if he gets out of retirement in New Japan. And so I can send him back to retirement. And then me and Tommy Dreamer in TNA.
Okay, okay. Tommy Dreamer? He's a tough cookie. No one else?
No, I'd say Tommy Dreamer in TNA. I would have liked, if he was still there, the Walking Weapon, but he's in AEW right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
Tommy Dreamer, come out of retirement to fight me till the death.
That would be an awesome. In an extreme kind of rules, or you just sort of
whatever he wants. I wrestle super crazy in extreme rules.
Yeah.
I can wrestle Tommy Dreamer in normal rules. Whatever he wants. We'll see who's got the best DD.
I was going to say you've got a number of different moves that you like. Your signature moves normally is your go-to for your submissions, which is your lion clutch. Is that inspired by anyone? Is that inspired by anyone particular?
The lion clutch? Well, it's a 3/4 Nelson with me sitting on them like a camel clutch. So I would say is, inspired from British wrestlers and the Iron Sheik. It's a really good submission. I prefer though to use the DDT to finish my matches. I have great respect for Jake the Snake Roberts as a professional wrestler and psychologist of pro wrestling. So that's sort of my tribute to him, and I found myself to have great form in delivering the DDT. Another move I use is the Michinoku driver, which
high risk, high reward.
Yeah, which Taka Michinoku popularized, but every move I use, it's to show people true pain. And that is simple as that. And that is why you won't see me do flips and flops and dives. I will just hit people very hard. And the result is not always pretty. Sometimes my matches won't be a 5-star match, but I'm not there to get 5 stars. I'm there to teach people a lesson. I'm there to show people what happens when you're a sheep and not a lion.
You're also well known as well for your lariat as well. I mean, that move, when I've seen Impact on the videos I've watched as well, looks like it hurts a hell of a lot. And I've taken a few bumps and slaps, and that is not something that I would like to do.
Sucks. It's me slapping on me, and then you're hitting the ground with tremendous force and speed. It sucks. Just move next time. Don't take it. Just move out the way. See what happens.
But I don't want to do that, so I'm good with that. You can do that to whoever wants to get in the way, if that's what they want to do and they want to get in their way. Rocco, thank you so much for coming on the Big Hype Podcast. So, Rocco, are you ready for your final round? Seconds
Yes.
out. Here we go. Okay. What is your favourite stance? Is it more of an orthodox? Is it more of southpaw? Are you particularly keen on how you stance in the ring?
I'd say orthodox.
Okay. Do you target the body, or do you target an arm, leg, or a head? Do you train alone or with a tag team partner?
Can you repeat that?
Do you train alone, solo, or are you training with tag team partners or partners?
I train alone, but then my good members of the Lion Pride, Freddie Blackstone and Fabio Romano, often trained with me.
Early morning drills or late night grind?
Afternoon.
Okay. Heavy body slams or agility drills?
Both.
Okay. Underdog challenger or reigning champ?
Reigning champ everywhere.
In the dojo or outside amongst the trees?
It's very important to be in touch with nature, especially in this age of technological dominance and artificial reality that we constructed with social media, AI, the internet. It's important to be in touch with oneself in nature, but also training in the dojo. Training, physical training, is what gets you close to your own soul, where you find your own limits and discover who you are.
Short explosive moves or long technical holds?
Explosive.
Play dirty or fight dirty or fight clean?
I always fight clean.
Okay. Roaring crowd or focused silence?
Roaring crowd everywhere apart from Japan. In Japan, I like the silence.
Fast pins or technical matches, submissions?
Whatever gets me to win the match.
And I put this on there, but this is normally the Tyson Fury or AJ fight, but let's say for argument's sake, best of them all, The Rock or Stone Cold?
Eddie Guerrero.
Rocco, thank you so much for coming on the Big Hype Podcast. How do people get involved? How do they follow your journey and follow you on socials?
You can find me on social media at Rocco Garzya. I am on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I despise social media, and I despise the use that people make of social media. But I have to use it to reach these people that are watching us right now. I have to make use of social media. So if you want to start your journey in becoming a lion and quit being a sheep and grasp what is the reality that is being presented to you, I suggest you buy a ticket, come and support professional wrestling in the UK and everywhere else, and every show I'm on, you can turn up and we can have a conversation. And the conversation is going to be very simple. You're going to sit in the crowd. When I come out, you're going to show me respect, and you watch very carefully what I do to my opponent, because that's what's life going to do to you unless you wake up and start following the way of the lion.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope you have a swell of members to your pride, and we hope to see you. I hope to see you as well. I wish you every success in the future going forward. I think you're going to do great things, and I'm looking forward to seeing the journey.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Have a good evening.
This has been a Big Hype production, edited and produced by Jonathan Millard, assisted by Riverside FM and distributed by Buzzsprout, available on all good podcast platforms. For more information, visit www.bighypepodcast.co.uk.